Hello, this is Carl with Future Achievers, back with another inspirational interview. Today I am talking with Patrick Piper. He is a college professor, engineer, musician, and so much more. Patrick has to be the happiest person I know, and I was excited to be able to talk with him to figure out exactly what makes him so happy and cheerful every single day. So join us for this interview to learn more about Patrick and to find out his keys to happiness. Let's go. Just want to have a conversation with you about a couple, few things that I feel like have inspired me along the way. And I just want to share that with others.
Okay.
I'll give you a chance here in a sec to tell a little bit about yourself, but I know you as a father, a husband, musician.
Yes.
Let's see, choir director, minister of music, football coach, track coach, and then most recently, top 10 African American male for 2021. So appreciate you being with me here today.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
So to start us off, man, and we go back, about 20 years probably now, because you were coaching football at Earlham when I came in 1999 as a freshman, and I
started too.
Was that's when you started?
Yeah.
Okay. And there's something that I noticed about you from then on, even to today, is that you are always smiling. You have got to be probably the happiest person I know. And a little bit of honesty, on my part is that, back then I wasn't a happy person, man. I kind of hated the world a little bit, or was mad at the world, felt like somebody owed me something type of thing. And so to see you kind of, come out and just, man, as soon as you saw somebody, you jumping up and down and hollering and smiling. And I'm like, man, what does this dude on? Like, nobody is this happy all the time, but, and just like, just wondering, like, man, this guy must not have a problem in the world. Everything must be going good for him. Money in the bank and family doing good and no issues. Yeah. Man, just because nobody's that happy. But you, I mean, and I can say now though, over the years I've matured and I've come to understand and learn some things, and I see it differently. Mm-hmm. Now I see it as a choice, mm-hmm. And then two, it's just, but it's just refreshing to be around you.
Gotcha.
You light up the room,
Gotcha.
And I know being in Revs, the students, the many students, the thousands of students you've had go through Revs, one thing I'm sure that stuck with all of us, because I was there too, was after every single rehearsal, you said the same thing. I love you. And ain't nothing you can do about it.
Right.
And those types of messages are transformational for people. Like, we didn't know, you never know what somebody's going through and what that little word,
right.
could do for somebody in
right.
that moment.
Right.
So let me stop talking, and I'm gonna turn it over to you, Pipe. But help me understand, man, where does this happiness, where does this joyful attitude come from?
Okay, so let's start from my childhood. Being that I was the last of 8 kids in my household. My father was back in the day, was what called a milkman. So he delivered milk to people all over the city, all over what we have in Louisiana is parishes. And so everybody knew it. He had a smile every day. I've never in my life, out of all the years he lived, never seen him mad, disappointed, upset. He never showed it. If he was, I never seen it. All I knew was a smile on his face every time he came in the house. And so that kind of got on us as far as all the kids, all my brothers. I'm not just the only one like this. My whole family is like this. If I had all of my brothers and sisters in here, you would think we were crazy, because we're always with a smile, and I guess that's what really brings out something in somebody else, because we don't know what you're going through as a person, but we always thought that with a smile, looking at my dad with a smile, everybody, he knew no strangers. It caused people to act differently, and we saw how they act differently because of the kindness, the smile, always uplifting. A lot of times you hear a lot of people that are put down. They don't hear positive words or positive things. I'm a person that like to take a person and build them up. I'll stay to the side and stay in the back, but I'll build you up. And if you noticed in the Gospel Revs, I always put people up that thought they couldn't do what they could do. And the reason is to show confidence in themselves of what they can do. It's not about me. It's about what you're capable of doing, but nobody ever put it out of you. Mm-hmm. And that's what I thrive on, is taking people that they think they're mediocre and pulling the best out of them. And they seeing the difference of what they can be if they just put effort to it. And so me being the way that I am, is for the purpose of others, not for me. It's for the purpose of building you up more so than building myself, because that's where I get my joy. My joy comes in when I see you have changed and you have built up and become something different than what you were before. So how I do it? But high energy. If you come to my classes here at Ivy Tech where I work, all my classes are high energy. It's never a boring time in my class because of the purpose. I want to bring out the best in you, what you think you couldn't do. If you're quiet, I guarantee you won't be quiet when you leave my classes. If you think you're reserved or what they call introvert, I pull the introvert out of you. And that's the way they got to understand that's how life is. You're not segregated. You're not in a hole that you cannot be a part of other people and not be a sociable person. So I try to pull that out of young people, older people, whomever. People that think they can't sing but really can sing, like my wife. And so to pull things out of people that they thought that they could never do. That's my point. And that's my joy. Why I'm like that? Because of others.
Man, Pipe, forgot to even mention that you are a college professor. You had mentioned Ivy Tech and your classes here. You're also the chair of the department here, engineer yourself by trade and training. You mentioned a little bit about, the energy that you're bringing to the classroom with your students, but talk a little bit about the programs here and the students that you're trying to attract and to help through your programs.
Okay. You're correct. I am the program director for 3 different programs here, which is engineering technology, construction technology, and HVAC, which is heat and ventilation, air conditioning technology. It's 3 different programs that are in pretty much demand in the area. They're programs that are separated in such a way that you can receive technical certificates or certificates within those programs. You can also get an associate's, which is an AAS program within Ivy Tech. Under the construction, there is an umbrella where you can get it on construction side, technical certificates, as well as electrical technical certificates, because of the courses intertwined with each other. But again, they have separate classes that you would actually take, in which you can get a technical certificate in construction, as well as a technical certificate in electrical. Okay, and you can get them in both. So therefore, that make you more versatile when you actually go back into the market. You get to know a little bit about each, but you would actually do a lot of training on the job training. We show you the basics of what is needed for those programs, and then once you get on the job site, those people will teach you exactly what they want you to do at that point, and you build from that. And from that point, you can easily get journeyman cards in both of them, possibly, if you stay with the company or whatever. Once you get the journeyman card, then you're marketable, not only here, but across the country in those particular skills. Same thing as HVAC. HVAC, you can get technical certificates in HVAC, learning how to work on units. Everything that we do here at Ivy Tech is hands-on. And so therefore you have labs, but you also have lectures and modules that you have to learn these terminologies about these different fields. But you take that terminology and put them into a lab. So therefore you have hands-on experience throughout all the curriculums that we have here. So that it's not like that it's book learning all the time. No, you actually do physical type of labs here. So you can get familiar with a lot of the instruments, the tooling, and different things that they use in those different fields. So it's here for anyone in the community, anyone in the county that want to learn how to do construction, they want to learn how to do HVAC, want to learn how to be electricians, to come here and get those particular certificates. Jobs are being available in the area. People and companies are looking for people. The biggest problem that we have is people trying to go to work. They have people problems coming to work. These fields make good money, absolutely good money. And they're just looking for people to come fulfill positions for these type of jobs they have in this area. Mm-hmm. Not saying you have to stay in the area, which most companies wish they do stay, but it's not, you're not obligated to stay in this area. You can go anywhere across the state with these skills. Mm-hmm. But we're trying to get exposed that these skills and these trainings are here at Ivy Tech. Come check us out. Come look for me. Ask me a question. Call. You can email me. You can call the school and ask for the person that's over construction or HVAC or electrical, and I am the person to see. And therefore, we will set you up in the class that you need to pursue to get a technical certificate or just certificates. There's a difference in the two. Certificates, you take about 20-something hours of credit, okay? But the technical certificate, you take maybe 3 or 4 more classes above that to get a technical certificate. But all of these things are within a year's time. You get a certificate or a technical certificate within a year. And that's 2 semesters, really, that you can complete these things and continue on. Now, it's different when we talk about engineering technology, because engineering technology is an associate's degree, in which you can get an associate's degree here. You can gain over 60 hours of credit at Ivy Tech. All 60 hours are transferred to Purdue locally, seamless, in which they will accept all 60 hours. In other words, you will actually go to Purdue as a junior, and you would take the last 2 classes, last 2 years, to finish your degree as getting a BS in engineering technology. But you can start here. You can start here, or you can go to Purdue University and start. The difference is there's a little bit less cost here to come to Ivy Tech, to take the same identical courses as if you were at Purdue here locally. So therefore, come see me. We're getting people employment after their associate's degree. I've got a lot of students positions where they will go and work as well as continue their pursuit in getting their BS with Purdue. But it's good that they're doing that, because there are companies that are actually paying for their degree to go to Purdue. So therefore, they're actually leaving with almost 0 debt to go to school. So therefore, it's an opportunity not for males only, for females, African Americans, in which I am trying to encourage to come and pursue this type of career. If you're an African American and a lot of people think it's a lot of math, but it's really not a lot of math. Engineering, yes. Engineering technology, no. When you're talking about algebra, geometry, maybe the first level of pre-calculus, and that's all the math you take. Compared to engineering, which you start off in calculus and you move up. And therefore you're taking 4 and 5 levels of math, higher level math than that. So to understand if you're good in algebra, you don't have to be good in algebra. We'll teach you everything you need to know. Just come. Just ask about my program and I will show you exactly how the program works, how many classes you take. It's a good opportunity for students, especially African American students, to be a part of this program. So, hey, don't be afraid. Come talk to me, call me, and I will give you the rundown. I'll give you a tour of the building. If you want to come see what we have at Ivy Tech, I'll give you a grand tour of all the things that we have here. I'm just telling you about the 3 programs that I'm over here at Ivy Tech, but there are more programs. We have automotive, we have machining, we have welding, we have what they call mechatronics. Mechatronics is a one-man band, if you want to call it, a person that has multiple tasks, that could do multiple things when it comes to a process. Okay, we have robotics. So all of these things here, agriculture. So if you want to know exactly what we have to offer at Ivy Tech, come see. It doesn't have to be in a group. You can come individually, and we'll give you a tour.
Mm-hmm. Now, and I think one of the good things about these programs, and one of the things that we noticed is this work, the need is not going anywhere.
No.
You know, we're always going to need somebody to do construction.
Yes.
Either to build something, a building, whether residential or commercial, or
Yes.
renovate it.
Yes.
HVAC, I mean, that's our heating and cooling.
Yes.
Most definitely, you know, need to
You
have
gonna need that.
You know, and so these are jobs that aren't going anywhere.
Correct.
And that are paying very well.
Very
I mean,
well.
if you want to know how much they make, just call them and say, hey, I need you to come over and check out my furnace or my air conditioner.
Yes, sir.
And you'll see, like, it's like $100 an hour, you know, just for them to come out.
Yes.
You know, and
We
do
even
so.
have maintenance here where men and women can actually come here and learn how to be maintenance people. We just recently had a graduate in that program that recently got a job locally, making $30 an hour, straight up, right out of Ivy Tech. I ain't talking about years of experience, straight out of Ivy Tech into a company that's paying $30 an hour. So it's here, the opportunities are here, but you just have to pursue them. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not going to take you long. If you be consistent in coming to class and doing the things, you'll be in and out of this in no time. Without a degree, it's very hard to find that $30 an hour type of positions.
And we're talking less than, I mean, you're talking 2 years or less.
2 years or less.
To be able to get into the workforce and then to be able to make a livable wage.
Absolutely.
And that's the difference, I think. You know, coming out of high school, you're limited as to the types of jobs you can have. And I mean, if you're working even fast food now, they might have raised, you know, their base pay, but it's still not a livable wage. I mean,
Right.
you still might need government assistance or some other assistance
Right.
to be able to make it. We're talking about give yourself up to 2 years, come out, making a livable wage now where you have options.
That's right.
You can decide what neighborhood you want to live
That's
in.
right.
Do I want an apartment or do I want to buy a house?
That's right.
You know, do I want to, you know, live on this side of town or that side of town? You know, do I want to eat this tonight, you know, and go out to eat, or do I want to stay home and fix
Right.
this tonight? I mean, it sounds simple, and I think we take it for granted a lot until we're in that situation. But I think that's what's important, and that's definitely what's important to me. And the reason why I do the work that I do is to provide options for people.
Right.
And it sounds like Ivy Tech can do that, especially if you're one who's thinking, you know what, 4-year college, nah, I don't really want to do that. Not really interested in what, you know, the programs that they have to offer. And then 2, I know some young people are in a situation where they need to get to work quick. Like, hey, I need to get out here, I need to get to work because I got to help support my family. You know, I got to take care of this, got to take care of that. And it sounds like Ivy Tech,
Absolutely.
is sensitive, to all of that and can support a student, through all of that.
That's why we're here. As professors or instructors here, that's why we're here at Ivy Tech. Is to help guide a person to a better life. That's why you come here to school, is for something different from what you are doing currently. Another option for you to move forward. And that's what we do here at Ivy Tech. That's what we thrive on, to see that you actually move to a next level in your life and be positive in that aspect. And we guide you and help you and present people that will do that for you to you. It ain't like you would go out and find the people. We actually at Ivy Tech bring people here that will actually look for people. So you don't have to search. They're searching for you. So come here and let us see what we could do to make a life better for you. And I think we have the tools to do it, and the people and the resources to do it too.
Tell us about you. We know you a lot in the community, definitely for your musical abilities, and some of Gospel Rez. But talk to us. Tell us about what don't we know that you want to share.
A lot of people don't know I'm from the state of Louisiana. Born, raised in a little small town called DeRidder, Louisiana. I'm the last of 8 kids. In my household, there are 3 engineers. Out of the 8, 6 of us went to higher education. Matter of fact, all of us went to the same school, Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I have a degree in engineering, mechanical engineering. I have a master's degree, an MBA. I've been in the corporate world for a number of years. Majority of the time that I've been with Gospel Revs in Earlham, I've been in the corporate world. And then the corporate world, I left there, went to the state hospital, was working with 13 to 17-year-old boys. And then from there, I came over to Ivy Tech. A lot of things I'm involved in outside of Ivy Tech. As you know, I'm in the Ministry of Music in Dayton, Ohio. Been there for 30 years as a Minister of Music. I do work with a variety of choirs, not only in the state of Indiana, but the state of Ohio. I am what they call a regional director in the Church of God in Christ in Ohio. So I cover about 5 different cities in Ohio, which is Columbus, Cincinnati, Springfield, Dayton, Ohio. And all the churches that are part of the Church of God in Christ in those areas, I oversee them. If they need something as far as musically inclined, musicians, they have different conferences. I see if they need assistance in those areas, and I give them assistance somehow. Either I go and help them with their choirs, teach them songs, do workshops, or whatever I need to do to get them prepared. But I've been doing that for a number of years also as a regional director. I travel, do workshops in different areas. I've traveled in different states to do workshops. So I do a variety of things under the umbrella of being a musician, not just a teacher. I coach football. I've been coaching football for a number of years. Like you said, since 1999, I went through 5 different head coaches at Earlham College. Mm-hmm. I've coached track at the Richmond High School. So I do, and people ask you, how do you find all the time to do that? It's just the way you do things and how you organize things, that it don't overlap each other. So I have time to do a lot of those things. It don't take all of my day, but it takes maybe an hour out of my day, hour and a half out of my day when I did do those things. So it did not take me away from my family. Yes, I am married to Miss Nyasha Piper. I have one daughter, Miss Chaselyn Janelle Piper, and she has my first grandson by the name of Major Elijah Ramon Blunt. and that's my boy. And so I am a grandpa. They call me Papa. And so I'm excited about that. So I do a variety of things. I was surprised when they, as far as nominating me as the top 10 African American in the Dayton, Ohio area. I was highly surprised when I was nominated for that. I was very honored for that. And so I really came involved and introduced to a lot of gentlemen, African American gentlemen in the city of Dayton, that are very prestigious, that are very active in the community, not only with the community but with a lot of youth, in which I do a lot of things with a lot of youth also. So these gentlemen are very well known in the city of Dayton, Ohio, and I was honored to be that. So you just, in a nutshell, you know a little bit about what I do.
Let's go back, talk about Gospel Revelations. So explain to us what Gospel Revelations is, what you do.
Okay, Gospel Revelations is a choir that has been a part of Earlham College for a number of years. I don't know exactly how many years it had been. I've been associated with it for over 25 years. And being a part of the school for, I'd say over 20 years, doing this. I was asked to come to a rehearsal years ago, way back in 1994, 95, 94, and went to a rehearsal, and it was kind of different because in the choir there was only maybe 15 people in the rehearsal, and so they were rehearsing for a program that's going to happen that Sunday, and so they needed to rehearse a song, and they asked me, did I know how to play the song? I said, sure, I know how to play it. So I got on the piano and started playing and letting them sing it, and the more I played it, the worse they got as far as the sound is concerned. So I stopped them and I said, may I correct you? He said, sure. And I went boom, 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 and showed them all their parts right away. And they started singing it. And I got up and left after the rehearsal. Got a phone call maybe 2 days later asking me would I do their spring concert. And their spring concert was like 2 weeks from then. So it was originally designed pretty much for African Americans that were on campus to come together to sing gospel music at the beginning of years. When I did this concert, that spring concert, the next semester in which they asked me would I consider doing it for a year, and I said sure. And I came in the fall semester and the numbers doubled. But when it doubled, it was a variety of people in the choir. It wasn't just African Americans. It was quite a few different people that was a part of the choir. And so it grew from that. I started getting students from other countries, that because Earlham is known to be an international type of college. And so therefore I started receiving kids from all over the world being a part of this. So it grew from just 25 people that I started off with to 150 people in the choir. And it's a choir that comes together once a week on Mondays, Monday evenings, and we rehearse songs. I teach them songs. We prepare for concerts in the fall and a concert in the spring. If there's other things that we'd be invited throughout the community, we'll try to do that if it's good enough for the students, because the students are first, to make sure that they're available to do things like that. But a lot of people in the Richmond community is not aware that it is open also for the community of Richmond. So you do not actually have to be a student of Earlham College to be a part of the Gospel Revelations. So if you love to sing, and you do not have to audition. If you love to sing, you love to be a part of a fellowship, we will teach you more so how to sing. As you be a part of it, somehow you gravitate to learning how to sing when you are around people that can stay on key. And so therefore, we put you around people that can stay on key to help you build up. So it is a choir that is growing. We fell off for a little while. The pandemic caused some drop off, but we're hoping that it build back up in the fall where we can all come back together. I use musicians that are young, that are talented, but they're young. I remember you interviewed Jacob Washington Lacey. Jacob was one of my musicians, my drummers, at a young age. The first musician I had that was at a very, very young age was Trenton Harrell. And I brought Trenton Harrell on at the age of 9. And Trent became my drummer for the Gospel Rev. So it was just me and Trenton working with the choir. I had to get permission from his parents to see if I could use him. And they said, sure. And so I built him up from the age of 9. And if you would talk to him, he's an absolute fantastic drummer, keyboard player, guitar player, singer. But he started a lot of his stuff from the Gospel Revs. And you'll find out a lot of guys that I have worked with helped me out in the Gospel Revs. So it's an opportunity for people to come, musicians, singers, come and be a part of it. Starting probably in the fall, September, we'll rehearse on Monday nights, 7 o'clock. We rehearse maybe for an hour and a half. And we go from there and prepare for our concerts. So come.
Yeah. And I know the choir has been diverse over the years. I mean, I experienced Gospel Revs in my time at Earlham as a student, but then also after living in the community. And I mean, I know in the band, you guys have guitar players at one point, bass players, saxophonists,
yes,
as well too. So you're pretty open to
yes,
having a variety of sounds, and it seems like the music really fits and calls for those different sounds as well. One of the things that I remember about and talk about just the experience of Gospel Revs, because Gospel Revs seemed to be more than just a choir. It seemed to be more than just a class. It was more than just Monday evening rehearsals, and then we go and have these performances.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It is. It's a way. To me, I think Gospel Revs is a release for a lot of the students. Believe it or not, a lot of students, a lot of teenagers go through a lot emotionally, from things that have happened to them in the past. So the Gospel Revs is a way that they can release some of the things that they're going through on campus. I strategically try to pick songs that they could listen to that would actually help them throughout the day. I just don't pick any. Sometimes I pick songs that are hyped, yes, songs that are uplifting to them, but I pick songs that has words and meaning behind them that will actually help them out as they go forward. I've had it in the past, throughout the years, I've had people that come up to me and told me that they were atheists. And because they tried to come to rehearsal and try to block out the words. And for some reason, they started listening to the words. And by them listening to the words and singing the words, converted them from being atheists, but now believing in a God. And so it's like you say, it's more than just coming together. It's a release not only for the students on campus, but for community people too. They look forward to coming to sing, to fellowship, because you begin to meet other people from other countries, and you learn that students meet other students in the rehearsal, and they're on the same campus. but don't know each other. But until they come into the gospel rest, become, possible friends. And so it's, like you said, it is more than just coming together and singing. And I guess that's what has kept me there for so long, because of seeing the differences in people when they first started and when they graduate. And you find a lot of people that have already graduated wish they could find another choir where they are that is like the Gospel Revs. And it's difficult to do that. You have choirs, but you don't have big choirs that are diverse as the Gospel Revs are.
Yeah. And that was one of the things I was thinking when you were talking about the diversity of the group. The other thing is, we don't know what religion
That's right.
these folks are, or
That's
if
right.
they believe in any religion, or any, if they have a spirit life.
That's right.
They're just, and you don't ask those questions. Those
No.
questions aren't asked. It's
No.
just you sign up, or you say, hey, I'm coming, you show up, you sit down, and boom, here's the song we learned today, and we just go into it.
Right. And it is understood at the beginning that the type of songs that we're going to sing is about Jesus or God. And that's the type of gospel songs, but you find out that a lot of them that are another type of religion stay. They don't leave because we are singing about that. I think it's more of them coming to their fellowship and being together. When I say I have people from Japan, from Africa, from Russia, the places I've never heard of that are coming, South America, and all these other different places that are coming in one setting and singing gospel music together. And it's incredible to see, and it's incredible to hear how they can come together. People have never sung gospel music, don't even know what gospel music is until they come and be a part of that. And they come from the freshman year, where they get from a freshman year, they get stuck, and they go through into the senior year and look forward to it. So it's a good opportunity for a lot of people.
Now, we've talked about Gospel Revelations, the gospel choir. You mentioned being a part of the Church of God in Christ. And so talk to me about your faith. What does that mean to you? How important is that to you? How has that impacted your life?
I think when I was born, my mama took me to church. That's all I've known all my life, from beginning to the end. If I got out of the church, I'll probably be lost in doing something else. Do I do things, weddings and different things? Yes, I do. My upbringing of church or religion was a part of my life, has been a part of my life, and still is a part of my life. We, as in my family, we have a variety of preachers, missionaries. My whole family is saved. We believe in what God can do and what He has done throughout the years, throughout my life. I trust Him. I believe in Him. My faith is totally of what He can do, not what He can't do, but what He can do. Throughout my life, I've had situations that I had to trust Him. I had to trust what He can do, and He has never, ever failed me. And today, as far as my faith in Him, you can't tell me anything to waver me from what I believe, what God can do. But people has to try, at least try. It's almost like I always say it's almost like the Lay's potato chip commercial. You can't eat, if you get the taste of one, you can't eat just one. And I always tell people, if you just get just one taste of what God can do and believe and trust in what He can do, it'll draw you in every time. It'll draw you in. All you have to do is try Him one time. The problem is, I think what people do is that when they ask God for something, they don't believe that He'll do it. The big part of asking God about what you want is asking him one time and believe he's going to do it. And you don't know when, where, and how he's going to do it. Just believe he's going to do it. And just trust him. Don't be surprised when he do it, because you asked. But people don't understand that's how God works. So I learned to the point that when I ask for him for something, I let him take care of it. When he do it, okay, he's going to do it in his time, not in my time. That's the problem. It's always we get in problems because it's about what my time is, but it ain't about it. My time, it's about his time. And we have to understand that we have to be patient. And a lot of people's not patient to have that to happen. And so my faith has built me up to the point that I put it in his hands. However he's going to do it, I put it in his hands. And you have talked to my daughter of how she has progressed. I put it in his hands, man. You know, he gonna build her the way he wanted to build. I may want some desires from her, yeah. But the way God does it, I can't compare that. I can't compete to what he does and how he does it. Because when he does it, it's done right. And it's done completely. Not half done, not partially done, it's done completely. So my faith in him is more than you can imagine of how I love him and appreciate what he has done for me so far.
In a previous conversation we had, you had mentioned a couple situations that you were in that that I think exemplifies your faith. Definitely are examples of when, you know, of how God has brought you through. I mean, if you don't mind sharing.
It was a couple of times I pretty much had lost my life. 2 weeks after I actually moved here from Louisiana, on my way to work, acting crazy in a small 1984 Nissan Sentra that had no power, and trying to pass a vehicle at the wrong time, and did a head-on collision with another car, which it was so bad that the engine was coming up my floorboard, but I walked away from it with no injuries, no scratches, no bruises, or anything like that. From that point, I knew God had his hands on me. I had another incident where I almost lost my life again. Run into a tree head on. Walked away from that with no injuries. And so by him reserving my life or preserving my life, I knew he had something special for me. It was a challenge, Carl, it was a challenge for me to move to a place I've never known before. Coming from, my family was not rich. We didn't have a lot of money. My father and mother didn't have a college education. I don't think they had high school education. But coming from that to here was a challenge. And to be in an area that I didn't know anyone, and to have things like that to happen to me, it just built my faith in God just a little bit more and more, to know what he can actually do and what he has done in my life. And there's been numerous things that he has done that I could not have done it myself at all. When you lose your job and lose everything, and he preserves you throughout the process of you going from the top to the bottom, and he's sustaining you throughout that, it hadn't been up to God. And so therefore I trust him in what he has done to me in the past, how he has saved my life in various occasions. It's a joy, bro. That's why you ask why I have a smile. That's why. When I can stand vertically and not horizontal, you're gonna see a smile on my face every day. You're gonna ask, how you doing? Magnificent, marvelous, fantastic.
If I was doing any better, I couldn't stand it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That thing is so bright. Oh, you weren't filming me, were you? You were not filming me.